Friends, this is Bhavdeep Panda. Welcome to Master English. +2 board exam 2026. Selection passage. English selection passage पहले मैराथन क्लास आज करिबा पाखे 45 मिनिट्स पर्यंत जीव भलिया लागुचे क्लास टा आउ क्लास रे ए वर्ष पई आर्ट साइंस कॉमर्स माने जहाँ भी आसीबार संभावना अछि तो सही पैसेज प्रोज और पोएट्री सेक्शन रु आज आलोचना हबो सेटा होछि तमरो माने मु जेमती थंबनेल रे तमे देखिथिबो एई भितरु ही दुईटा पैसेज आसीबो 100% श्योर कुछ मतलब कोई दिक्कत नहीं कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं जहाँ भी हबो 100% आसीबो तब तमे माने गोटे जिंस करि परिबो जो क्वेश्चन गुडी के कहबी से आंसर गुडी को कीवर्ड टाइप करि परिबो पार्टिसिपेट करिवार अछि ना क्लास रे so you can type the keywords if you are getting this okay आउ जो माने जॉइन हे जो फटाफट शेयर करो फ्रेंड माने जॉइन करंतो बेले ओके आ गोटे कथा बेले मनर कथा गोटे कहूचे वर्तमान 90 आई थिंक 98.7 के सब्सक्राइबर हरानी आ तो माने जदी टिके एफर्ट नबो आई थिंक ए 16 तारिख पूर्वरु 1 लाख सब्सक्राइबर हे जिवे लखे हेले भल लागियो बेले तो से जा भी हो सेटा नुह सेटा मोर अभिप्राय नुह कि जबरदस्ती तुम मान को मु काहा को कहूची मिले बट स्टिल आई होप सो माने पिला माने भी मते हेल्प करन ते जा भी हो जो प्रथम पैसेज तो चैप्टर गुडी को मु कहि दोची चैप्टर हमर अछि आजी डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पोलियो वैक्सीन माय ग्रेटेस्ट ओलंपिक प्राइज द पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ ए लेडी सैम ऑफ लाइफ बैरड ऑफ फेदर गेलिगन आउट डेफोडिल्स ए जो चैप्टर सब रहला बुझेला ए सब चैप्टर रो जो सिलेक्शन पैसेज ए चैप्टर भितर ही आसी आर्ट साइंस कॉमर्स समस्त पे दिया है बुझा सिलेक्शन देइतले ओके तो सही चैप्टर गुडी को आलोचना करिवा तो प्रथम प्रश्न गुडी को देखिबा प्रथम प्रश्न होची when and where were Olympic games being held in Berlin when and where Olympic games being held तापरे रहिला who was Adolf Hitler what did he say childishly then asila tomorrow why was not Waynes worried then why did everyone expect Owens to win the long jump easily then what was in Owens mind when he was going over the board these are the questions prathama passage the question तो गोटे गोटे प्रश्न प्रथम प्रश्न होची when and where were Olympic games be held कोठी एवं केबे Olympic games हेतिला बिले बुझियला when and where were Olympic games being held केबे आउ केउठी Olympic games हेतिला ये होची प्रथम प्रश्न उत्तर कोन हबो फटाफट टाइप करबा समय कम पिले हम पाखरे तो when and where Olympic games were held 1936 रे बढ़िया 1936 Berlin Amram 63 yes very good okay Pralipta Das the Olympic games held at Berlin in 1930 okay 1936 very good so the answer would be the Olympic games were being held pile answer pattern ta देखिबा केमते लेखु छै हम the Olympic games were being held in Berlin in the summer of 1936 केबे हितला 1936 मसिया रे हितला बर्लिन ठरे हितला these are the keywords these two are the keywords next question who was Adolf Hitler what did he say childishly next question who was Adolf Hitler what did he say childishly Adolf Hitler किए थिले एवं से पिला मानक भलिया कोन कहिथिले who was Adolf Hitler and what did he say childishly तो फटाफट कमेंट उत्तर लिखिबा पे Adolf Hitler किए से एवं से पिलालियामी भलिया पिला मानक भलिया कोन कहिथिले waiting for your answer Nazis superior okay na Amram 63 Nazis superior okay गोटे कीवर्ड हबो नो डाउट चाइल्डिशली रिमार्क ऊपर गोटे कीवर्ड हबो आउ नेक्स्ट कीवर्ड टा कोन हबो व्हाट वुड बी द नेक्स्ट कीवर्ड who was Adolf Hitler so answer would be yes Adolf Hitler was the dictator ruler of Germany this is the keyword Adolf Hitler was the dictator ruler of Germany And he said childishly that his members are the performer of a master race. His performers were the member of a master race. দুইটা হচ্ছে keyword, গোটা হচ্ছে master race. His performers are the member of master race and dictator ruler of Germany. These are these two keywords that must be there in your question. এই question রে আমার question রে এই দুইটা নিশ্চিত ভাবে থিবা দরকার, বুঝিলা? Next question কো ଯିବା. Question number 3. Why was not Wayne's worried? Why was not Wayne's worried? Wayne's କାହିଁକି जैसे Wayne's କାହିଁକି irritate ନଥିଲେ, କାହିଁକି ବିଲକୁଲ ବିରକ୍ତ ନଥିଲେ, ସେ କାହିଁକି worried ନଥିଲେ? ମାନେ ଗେମ୍ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ଏକ୍ସାମ ଦେବାକୁ ଯିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଆମେ ଟିକେ worried ଥିବା, କଣ ହବ କଣ ନାହିଁ, ଆମର ଭିତରେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ଥିବ, ଡିଲେମା ଥିବ, ଦ୍ୱନ୍ଦ୍ୱ ଥିବ. But he was not worried. Why? କାରଣ କଣ? Why? So what is the right answer? ठीक उत्तर कौन होगा पहले? Because he was practiced for 6 years. बोला okay. Because he was practiced. पिला देखो एठी हमें लिखिबा भूल करछ बोला बेटा याकु लिखिबा because he had practiced. बुझेला? तमरो आंसर देखि मु कहू he was practiced एटा पासिव हे गेला. एमती न लिखि कि हम ताकु लिखिबा he had practiced. Hard work m ram 6. तरुण he had practiced. Okay. So कोन होबा पिले ताहले? Owens was not worried. उत्तर केमते लिखा? Owens was not worried because he had truth in under, because he had trained, sweated, dedicated for the game in mind. Very good. Yes, yes. So the right answer would be Owens was not worried because he had trained, sweated, and disciplined himself. Trained, sweated, and disciplined himself for the last 6 years, keeping the games in mind. Eta pura passage re thiba pile. Passage re pura thibo. ଆଉ ୟାକୁ ଉତ୍ତରିବାର ଅଛି. ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଦେଖିବା. ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ହଉଛି ଯେ why did everyone expect Owens to win the long jump easily? Why did everyone expect Owens to win the long jump easily? long jump ମାନେ ସେ long jump ଜିତି ଯିବେ ଆରାମରେ, ମାନେ ଏଇଭଳିଆ କାହିଁକି ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ମନରେ ଏ ଭାବନା କାହିଁକି ଥିଲା ଯେ ସିଏ ଯେମିତି ହେଲେ long jump ଜିତି ଯିବେ? that Owens will the long jump gold medal. Why did everyone expect? କାହିଁକି ସମସ୍ତେ ଭାବୁଥିଲେ? Because he had already set a world record. Sutti. Yes, beta. Se aguru. Okay. Bhola. Because in his last year he won as university. Okay. Because he had okay. He had said beta. Satrupa. He had said. Okay. We have to write. He had said the university world record previous year because he had set the world record of 26.84 inches AEOB for the Summer Olympics. Yeah. I agree. So because his record 26 feet in the. So the answer would be Owens was everyone expected Owens to win the long jump easily because as a university student a year before, what happens? He had set the Olympic record. नहीं एतिकी जदि हम लिखुचे and this will get this from our passage रे पूरा स्पष्ट भाव रे मेंशन हेकि थिबे. लास्ट क्वेश्चन देखिए. शेष प्रश्न होची जे what was in Owens mind when he was going over the boat? बहुत सहज प्रश्न. What was in Owens mind when he was going over the boat? जेतेबेले से जाउथिले बोट रे, जेतेबेले जर्मन जाउथिले, से अमेरिका रु जाउथिले, से समय तांको माइंड रे कोन चलथिला? What was going on exactly at the time in his mind? This is a question. उत्तर दवा. प्रश्न थिला what was in Owens mind when he was going over the boat? Getting at least 1 or 2 gold medal. Sutti beta. So getting at least 1 or 2 of those gold medals. So while Owens was to get 1 or 2 of these gold medals. Pralipta. Yes, beta. Rudra Nanada. Rudra aji tamo live hobo. Aji +3 live at any condition hobo. Hala? Not a 15. Aduko hobo. He will win at least 2 gold medals. Satrupa. Prasenjit. Owens thought that 1 or 2 gold medals. Okay. The right answer was while Owens was going over, on the boat, he was thinking one or two of these gold medals. He was thinking about taking one or two of these gold medals. Okay. ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଉତ୍ତର ସେକ୍ସନ କୁ ଯିବା ପିଲେ ये 5ଟା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ସରିଛି ନେକ୍ସଟ 5ଟା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଦେଖିବା ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କହିଛି 60ଟା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବି नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची सेही माइग्रेटेड ओलंपिक रो प्राइज रो आउ गोटे पैसेज सेटा होची व्हाई वाज वेन्स वाज सरप्राइज ऑप्शन बी हु वाज लॉदलंग ऑप्शन सी व्हाट वाज नाजिस आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी एंड ऑप्शन डी व्हाट डिड वेन्स प्रॉमिस टू डू एंड ऑप्शन ई व्हाट वाज वेन्स टोल्ड अबाउट लॉदलंग दिस आर द क्वेश्चन बुझेला क्वेश्चन कोन व्हाई वाज मने रखो कारण तुमको आंसर देबा सुविधा हो व्हाई वाज वेन्स सरप्राइज ऑप्शन बी हु वाज लॉदलंग ऑप्शन सी what was Nazi's Aryan superiority theory? Option D, what did Owens promise to do? And option C, what was Owens told about Claudio? These are the questions. So, pratham prashna, why was Owens surprised? Why was Owens surprised? This is the first question. After seeing Claudio, Suti, yeah. By seeing the performance of a tall German long jumper, Pralipta. Very good, beta. Yes. So, why was Owens surprised? Owens was surprised. Answer came there. Owens was surprised. Why was Owens surprised? So, Owens was surprised. First part of the question. Then, next, we'll write the answer. So, Owens was surprised to see a tall boy hitting the pit at almost 26 feet. 26 feet on his practice laps. Passage pura thiba pile. बुझे एमराम 63 सुथी नंद प्रलिप्ता यस बेटा परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हु वाज लॉदलंग बहुत सहज प्रश्न हु वाज लॉदलंग के थिले हु वाज लॉदलंग नितो क्वेश्चन हु वाज लॉदलंग नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हु वाज लॉदलंग सिंपल लॉदलंग वाज ए जर्मन एथलीट लॉदलंग वाज a German athlete. Tarun, yes. Good. Sutinanda, a player from Germany. Yes, beta. Yes, we can write differently. Your answer can be different. Ladlang was a tall boy of German athlete. Okay. Rashanjit Bera, Ladlang was German athlete. Good. Okay. Satrupa Shahu, Ladlang was a German athlete. Okay. So the answer would be, Ladlang was a German athlete participating in long jump. Yes or no? Event in Berlin Olympics was Hitler's what? Creation. Okay. परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची सी व्हाट वाज नाजिस आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी नाजी मानकर आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी कोन थिले व्हाट वाज नाजिस आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी व्हाट वाज नाजिस आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी नाजी मानकर आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी कोन थिला आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी बोली नाजी माने कोन को को जिंस को आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी बोली कहतले हिटलर जो चाइल्डिशली रिमार्क देथिला हमर मन थी तो व्हाट वाज नाजिस आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी एबोला जदी आंसर को एते समय जगिबी मु ताले पिले कोन हबो क्लास ता बहुत लंबा हो जिवो बुझेला तो मुसी पई कहू छी कीवर्ड सब हम टाइप करी चलीबा जहा फल रे मते इजी हबो त मानकर माने आंसर शेयर आंसर को रीड आउट करबा पे तो ठीक उत्तर होची पहिले यस द नाजिस आर्यन सुपरियरिटी थ्योरी वाज काइंड बाय हिटलर एटा हिटलर के द्वारा प्रतिष्ठा करा दिथिला and it says that the German who are the Aryans are superior to all other people. It says that the German who were Aryans were superior to all other people in the world. This is called Nazi's Aryan superiority theory. Question number D. What did Owens promise to do? Next question is, what did Owens promise to do? Owens कौन promise करते रहे? कौन करेगा भी promise करते रहे? What did Owens promise to do? This is the next question. Owens कौन प्रतिज्ञा कले कौन करेगा भी प्रतिज्ञा कले? What did Owens promise to do? What did Owens promise to do? Owens promised to participate in long jump event and to show Hitler who was superior and who was not. Yes or no? So Owens promised to participate in long jump event and to show Hitler who was superior who was superior and who was not. You wanted to show. Next question hochi, what was Owens told about Lodram? What was Owens told about Lodram? It देखो, what was Owens told? Passive रहला was told. तांको कौन कुआ जायतिला? Lodram का विषय रे Owens जैसे Owens को कौन कुआ जायतिला? So what was Owens told about Lodram? Owens को Lodram का विषय कौन कुआ जायतिला? What was he told about? The answer would be yes. Owens was told that Lodram was Hitler's projection. नहीं, that हाँ सबुथरे एथरे पैराग्राफ दिया जाइथिबो पले पैराग्राफ दिया जाइथिबो मु एठी पैराग्राफ आ रीड आउट करू नाही पैराग्राफ दिया जाइथिबो बुझिउतरे नाही तो कोन हबो सो Lodram was the player or long jumper who had been kept under wraps by Adolf Hitler in the hope that he would win the long jump. यांकू हिटलर कौन करथिला सिक्रेटली रखिथिला एई आशारे कि से कौन करिवे से लॉन्ग जंप जीतिबे के Lodram जीति जीवे बोली कि से लुचै के रखिथिला परवर्ती पैसेज को जीवा पले द पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ ए लेडी द पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ ए लेडी रो क्वेश्चन लिखि दोजे प्रथम हला व्हाट वाज द नरेटर्स ग्रैंडमदर लाइक फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन व्हाट वाज द नरेटर्स ग्रैंडमदर लाइक नरेटर को जेजेमा को बळे थिले क्वेश्चन नंबर ए क्वेश्चन नंबर बी हाउ डिड द ग्रैंडफादर अपीयर इन हिज पोर्ट्रेट हाउ डिड द ग्रैंडफादर अपीयर इन हिज पोर्ट्रेट तांकर जेजे बापा पोर्ट्रेट केमति देखा जाउतिले क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 व्हाट डिड ही लुक लाइक इन हिज पोर्ट्रेट सॉरी yes how did the grandfather appear in his portrait next question hochi what did he wear in the portrait what did the grandfather wear next hochi the third was almost revolting why does the narrator say so को थर्ड विषय रे काहे की एभली कहिचंती तापरे होची शेष प्रश्न होची जे why was it hard for the author to believe that his grandmother was once young and pretty these are the question for the next paragraph तो प्रथम प्रश्न देखिबा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन थिला what are the narrator's grandmother like narrator को जेजेमा की भलिया थिले पिले तो आंसर अब the narrator's grandmother was young and pretty the narrator's grandmother was young and pretty once she had grown old and wrinkled presently now the condition of the grandmother the present condition of the grandmother was old and wrinkled but in the past she was young and pretty okay next question hochi kon thila how did the grandfather appear in his portrait how did the grandfather appear in his portrait तांका portrait केमति देखा जाउथले कैसे दरे थिबो सब बुझला how did the grandfather appear in his portrait तांका portrait रे से केमति देखा जाउथले in the portrait कौन लिखिबा in the portrait the grandfather wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes his long white beard covered the best part of his chest long white beard covered the best part of his chest परवर्ती प्रश्न दिलो what did the grandfather wear in his portrait what did the grandfather wear in his portrait simple question simple answer the grandfather wore a turban and loose fitting clothes in the portrait wore a turban and loose fitting clothes in the portrait next question question number 3 कौन थिला question number 3 थिला what did he sorry the thought was almost revolting why does the narrator say so the thought was almost revolting why does the narrator say so जो भावना मो भितर ए भावना ता आंदोलित होतला ए को कथा विषय से कहत why the thought was almost revolting why does the narrator say so it is the narrator had been seeing his grandmother for the last 20 years दीर्घ 20 वर्ष से देखि आस्तले she was old and wrinkled always से बुढ़ी थिला जाओ बुढ़ी हो नथला and when people say when people say what loose fitting clothes स्वागत देखा okay now I can see your comment beta your comment were not visible for me very good so old and wrinkled always and when people say that once he was young and pretty the narrator could hardly believe it right the narrator could hardly believe it तो से विश्वास ही करि पार नथले सुमन गौड़ा प्रलिप्ता स्वागतिका ओके लूज फीडिंग क्लासेस ओके बेटा परवर्ती पैसेज को जिबा बेले परवर्ती पैसेज होची व्हाट वाज ग्रैंडमदर्स वर्क इन द मॉर्निंग व्हाट वाज ग्रैंडमदर्स वर्क इन द मॉर्निंग जेजेमांकर काम माने सकाळे सकाळे जेजेमा कोन करूथले एक नंबर प्रश्न दुई नंबर प्रश्न होची व्हाई वाज द ऑथर लिसनिंग टू ग्रैंडमदर्स वॉइस व्हाई वाज द ऑथर लिसनिंग टू ग्रैंडमदर्स वॉइस जेजेमांकर स्वर को से काहे की सुनुथला परवर्ती प्रश्न था हाउ वाज शी प्रिपेयरिंग द ऑथर फॉर स्कूल से ऑथर को किभली प्रिपरेशन करूथला नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची जे why was grandmother accompanying the author to school से काहे की ऑथर के सहित स्कूल को जाउथला एंड लास्ट क्वेश्चन होची what was she doing when children were reading what was she doing when the the children were reading जदल पिला माने पढुथले से कोन ओके कोन थिला प्रश्न गुडी को प्रथम प्रश्न थिला व्हाट वाज ग्रैंडमदर्स वर्क इन द मॉर्निंग जेजेमा प्रत्येक दिन कोन करूथला सकाळ कोन करूथला सिंपली व्हाट वाज शी डूइंग एवरी मॉर्निंग ग्रैंडमदर बाथ एंड ड्रेस द ऑथर कोन करूथला गादे दूथला ड्रेस पिने दूथला तो बाथ एंड ड्रेस द ऑथर फॉर हिम एंड गेट हिम रेडी फॉर स्कूल आ कोन करूथला गेट हिम रेडी फॉर स्कूल आ कोन करूथला शी वाज फिनिशिंग हर रूटीन वर्क टू बाय कथा छाड़ तो ए जिंस होची इंपोर्टेंट होची कोन बाथ एंड ड्रेस्ड गादे दूथला एवं ड्रेस पिने दूथला and get him ready for school को जीवा पे ना ready करूथला these are the two works she was doing getting me okay pralipta why you are not writing the answer परवर्ती प्रश्न होची क्वेश्चन नंबर बी why was the author listening to grandmother's voice author काहे के सुनुतले why was the author listening to grandmother's voice से grandmother का voice से काहे के सुनुतले simple because the author loved the voice of his grandmother simple na? Because her voice was very sweet yes Pralita yes because her voice was very sweet and the author loves to what listen love the voice of the grandmother that's why he loved to listen her songs still he feels monotonous about that next question also how was she preparing the author for school how was she preparing the author for school school पाए किभली प्रिपेयर करा होतला ताको how was she preparing the author for school केमती स्कूल पाए केमती प्रिपरेशन से करतला how so grandmother bathed the author गादे दूतला dressed him ड्रेस पिले दूतला how was प्रश्नटा थिला how was केमती okay and she fetched a wooden slate yellow chalk a tiny earthening pot a reed pen she fed him तापरे से खोउतिला she fed him then led him to school तापरे से स्कूल को नहीं की जाउतला ऑथर को सहित से जाउतला led him to school एठी एति पय व्यवहार कारण because she was also going with the author yes or no परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा पले नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची why was grandmother accompanying the author to school बहुत सहज प्रश्न आमे फटाफट उत्तर दे परिबा प्रश्न why was grandmother accompanying to the author to school कारण एटा गोटे दुईटा शब्द भितरे आंसर सीमित होई अछि सिंपली उत्तर दबा so why was grandmother accompanying the author to school काहे की कारणटा कोन what the reason because the school was attached to the temple simple नहीं because the grandmother एटी उत्तर लिखि दबा the grandmother was accompanying the author to school because the school was attached to the temple because the temple was attached yeah simple so because the temple was attached to the school कारण मंदिर एटी एक्चुअली टेंपल सहित स्कूल अटैच नथला स्कूल टा टेंपल सहित अटैच थला बुझेला प्रलिता योर आंसर इज मोर करेक्ट बट स्टिल आमे जदी ब्रॉडर सेंस रे ताको चिंता करबा द स्कूल वाज अटैच्ड टू द टेंपल आगो स्कूल परे बुझेला नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखिबा व्हाट वाज शी डूइंग व्हेन चिल्ड्रन वर रीडिंग जेतेबेले पिला माने पढुथले व्हाट वाज शी डूइंग व्हेन चिल्ड्रन वर रीडिंग जेतेबेले पिला माने पढुथले से कोन करथला स्कूल सह टेंपल नहीं बेटा टेंपल सह स्कूल काहे की कहूची आगो काल रे माने जो माने पूजा करुथिले पूजक माने से माने तो मंदिर भितरे मंदिर रे जो माने पूजा करुथिले ताकू ही कहा जाउतला सेही एरिया को बुझिला मंदिर रे जो माने पूजा पूजा पाठ करुथिले से माने ही पाठ पढुथिले से मानको आचार्य ओली को कहा जाउतला गुरुकुल भलिया स्थिति थिला तो से मंदिर रे स्कूल रहउतला बुझिला तो ये सेही दिनर कथा चालिछि माने तमरो 1900 1900 मसिया बेलर कथा चालछि एटा ए जिंस कलिता रीडिंग होली स्क्रिप्चर इनसाइड द टेंपल आंसर आसीगला ओके सो व्हाट वाज शी डूइंग व्हेन चिल्ड्रन वर रीडिंग इधर को हवा when the children started reading from the priest grandmother sat inside the temple the priest taught स्वागत है पंडित the priest taught us the alphabet and the meaning prayer reading the scripture yeah you are correct beta so she was reading the scripture inside the temple while the students monkey sparrow ओके बेटा करी की देबी बट आजी 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 देखिया आजी तो मु नहीं नहीं ताको सिलेक्शन भीतर मु रखी नहीं तथापि मंकी स्पा तू कहलुनी मैं 100% करके देबी क्लास टा आज जदि हबो ताको सिंगल क्लास करके नेबी हला आज जदि हबो 10टा पर्यंत भी जते बेले आज जते बेले टाइम पाइबी आई विल टेक दैट क्लास तो ये थिला बेले हमरो कुडा पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ लेडी रो पैसेज थिला आमे जय श्री राम परवर्ती पैसेज को जीवा सेटा होची डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पोलियो वैक्सीन बुझेला डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पोलियो आज आज कौन करवा कोना काली तो एमआईएल ओडिया रो 2 मार्क सरीची एमआईएल ओडिया रो 2 मार्क सरीची नै बिले काली तो नेक्स्ट क्लास कौन करवा नेक्स्ट क्लास तुम जहा कहबे सेटा करवा अरे ओडिया ऑप्शनल करवा रे आज ओडिया ऑप्शनल हबो साइंस रो बायोलॉजी हबो ओडिया ऑप्शनल हां नेक्स्ट क्लास हबो नेक्स्ट क्लास होची तमरो 745 रे साइंस पिलांग रो बायोलॉजी तापर 845 815 रे तमरो ओडिया ऑप्शनल ओडिया यस बेटा ऑप्शनल ओडिया 815 रे 745 रे साइंस पिलांग रो बायोलॉजी आई थिंक एई क्लास ता 730 पर्यंत पळाई जीवो तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखिबा बेले नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पोलियो वैक्सीन ने डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पोलियो वैक्सीन को पोलियो वायरस ओके तो प्रथम प्रश्न व्हाट वाज रूजवेल्ट डूइंग एट कैम्बेलियो स्टेट हिस्टोरी क्लास आज आई थिंक हबो नहीं देखिबा नले 10टा बेले जदी पिला रहिबे करबा ऑप्शनल रो एमसीक्यू करबा नले ओडिया ऑप्शनल रो एमसीक्यू करबा जे काज कथा नहीं तो परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा बेले प्रश्न होची व्हाट वाज रूजवेल्ट डूइंग एट कैम्बेलियो स्टेट एक नंबर प्रश्न दुई नंबर प्रश्न होची व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम ऑफ पोलियो रो सिम्पटम कोन थिला नंबर 3 हाउ कैन पोलियो स्प्रेड पोलियो केमिति स्प्रेड करूतला देन नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची व्हेन डिड रूजवेल्ट फाइंड आउट ही हैड पोलियो रूजवेल्ट केतले जानि पाइले तांगरो पोलियो हिची बोली तापरे आ गोटे क्वेश्चन हला व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन पोलियो वायरस एंटर द बॉडी जेतेबेले पोलियो वायरस ता बॉडी को एंटर करे कोन होबे 3 नंबर पेसेज पे आउ 9टा पेसेज होची तो थिंक अबाउट इट 3 6 सॉरी 6टा सरीबो आउ 6टा अछि माने आउरी हाफ एन आवर जीव बळिया लागिलानी मते so what was Roosevelt doing at Campbell State what are the symptoms of polio how can polio spread and when did Roosevelt find out he had polio what happens when polio virus enters the body these are the questions next question होची what was Roosevelt doing at Campbell State तांगर Campbell State रे से कोन करतले so कोन करतले बने कोन करतले Roosevelt was vacationing with his family at their Campbell State what he was doing vacationing is the keyword बेटा स्वागतिका दिस इज नॉट गुड सो ही वाज वेकेशनिंग सेठी छुट्टी काटिबा पई जा कैम्बोलिया स्टेट को से जाइदिले छुट्टी काटिबा पई बाय द बाय सेठी गोटे निया लागितला तापर से लिबौतले बेटा नहीं तो आमे प्रथमे से गय जे व्हाट वाज रूजवेल्ट डूइंग एट कैम्बोलिया स्टेट ही वाज वेकेशनिंग व्हेन ही वाज वेकेशनिंग ए यंग पॉलिटिशियन named Franklin Delano Roosevelt when he was vacationing with his family at their Campbell State and after fighting a local forest fire ये होची तोर पाठ कथा बुझला तो क्वेश्चन होची रूजवेल्ट वाज वैकेशनिंग विथ हिज फैमिली एट देयर कैम्बेलियो स्टेट नहीं बेटा परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा परवर्ती प्रश्न होची व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम ऑफ पोलियो व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम ऑफ पोलियो व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम्स ऑफ पोलियो पोलियो रो सिम्पटम सब कोन थिला नो प्रॉब्लम बेटा नो प्रॉब्लम अरे टू एयर इज ह्यूमन टू फॉरगिव इज डिवाइन एदर किसी नहीं no problem I mistake listen one thing mistake must be done mistake mustn't be repeated and mistake is the proof that you are doing something. Remember, this is my point of view about mistake. Mistake must be done. Mistake mustn't be repeated. If you are not repeating the mistake, this is a learning, and mistake is the proof that you are doing something. So that's why mistake should be done, must be done, mustn't be repeated. Repeat होगा कथा नुह आम जब शिखुचे लर्निंग समस्त भूल हुए बोले तो प्रश्नटा थिला व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम्स ऑफ पोलियो पोलियो सिम्पटम कौन थिला पोलियो व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम ऑफ पोलियो ये होची प्रश्न प्रश्न सो पोलियो हैज फ्लू लाइक सिम्पटम नहीं बेटा प्रलिप्ता पोलियो हैज फ्लू लाइक सिम्पटम्स लाइक हेडेक नोसिया वॉमिटिंग एंड फीवर यस और नो सो पोलियो हैज फ्लू लाइक सिम्पटम्स लाइक हेडेक नोसिया वॉमिटिंग एंड फीवर एतिकी बेसी लिखिबार आवश्यकता नहीं शॉर्ट एंड सिंपल मु जाय पिले शॉर्ट एंड सिंपल पिला मन को लिखिबा पई कोए बेसी आमे होचे +2 पिला बळिया लिखिबा जेतिकी दरकार सेतिकी लिखिबा अजथा लिखिकी टाइम पास करबा वॉमिटिंग हां पुष्पांजलि परवर्ती प्रश्न लिखिबा परवर्ती प्रश्न होची हाउ कैन पोलियो स्प्रेड पोलियो केमति स्प्रेड करे हां करा जीवो ये सोशियोलॉजी करा जीवो सब करा जीवो पिले देखो मु तुमको जमदी कहउतली काली माने पर दिन 29 रो 29 आई थिंक 20 काली 28 29 रो मो भाई रो बाहागर अछि दुई दिन टिके मो व्यस्त रहिबे खाली वीडियो गुडी को अपलोड हो क्लास दुई दिन पे लाइव सेशन गुडी बंद रहबो तापरे तुमको 1 तारिख संध्या रो मो पूरा माने 16 तारिख जाए दिन को 4टा 5टा 6टा 4टा 5टा 6टा 7टा 8टा जो दिन हबो 8टा पर्यंत भी क्लास करा एति कहूची 8 दिन भितर मु तुम्हारा पूरा कंप्लीट सिलेबस सब एमसीक्यू 2 मार्क 1 मार्क सब जतिक सब्जेक्ट होची एमआईएल इंग्लिश रहिला ऑप्शनल ओडिया रहिला इकोनॉमिक्स रहिला एजुकेशन रहिला हिस्ट्री रहिला राजनीति विज्ञान रहिला एई सब तापर बायोलॉजी रहिला साइंस रहिला एतिकी पाठ आ आईटी एतिकी पाठ हम कंप्लीट करी के छाड़ीबे चिंता करिवार किछ नै तो हाउ कैन पोलियो स्प्रेड ये होची क्वेश्चन हाउ कैन पोलियो स्प्रेड पोलियो कैन स्प्रेड थ्रू कांटेक्ट विथ इन्फेक्टेड फेसेस और थ्रू इन्फेक्टेड ड्रॉपलेट्स कोन पोलियो कैन स्प्रेड थ्रू contact with infected faces or through infected droplets traveling through air दुटा infected face एक दुई होची infected droplets traveling through air or food बुझला परवर्ती प्रश्न देखा क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 when did Roosevelt find out he had polio हाँ यस प्रलिप्ता इन्फेक्टेड ड्रॉपलेट्स एंड इन्फेक्टेड फेसेस ये दुईटा होची कीवर्ड्स बेटा दिस टू मस्ट बी देयर इन योर आंसर सो व्हेन डिड रूजवेल्ट फाइंड आउट ही हैड पोलियो केते बेला से जानिले जे तांगर पोलियो होई व्हेन डिड रूजवेल्ट फाइंड आउट दैट ही हैड पोलियो सो रूजवेल्ट आफ्टर फाइटिंग द लोकल फॉरेस्ट फायर he actually took cold bath रूजवेल्ट took cold bath ओके अरे ना श्योर बेटा श्योर कर देबी ग्रुप जो लिंक तो शेयर कर दीजिए टू कोल्ड बाथ इन अ फ्यू डेज ही फाइंड आउट ही हैड पोलियो कोल्ड स्विमिंग फॉर रिलीफ स्वागतिका यस बेटा सो कहला रूजवेल्ट आफ्टर फाइटिंग ऑन लोकल फॉरेस्ट फायर टू कोल्ड बाथ and when he was just taking rest find out in a few days he found out that he had conducted polio next question hochi last question da what happens when polio virus enters body what happens when polio virus enters body जेतबेले polio virus body को enter करे कोन हुए what happens when polio virus enters body कोन हुए पले what happens when polio virus enters body जेतबेले आसे विद्रु को when polio virus enters body by nose or mouth जेतबेले आसे by nose or mouth नाक वाटा देखी पाटी वाटा देखी कोन हुए it travels to the intestine कोन करे it travels to the intestine बृहदंत्र रे प्रवेश करे where it incubates जोठी कौन करे से इनक्यूबेट्स करे वंश विस्तार करे ये थिला हमरो डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पोलियो वैक्सीन रो प्रथम प्रोसेस नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को जीवा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होची फिले तमरो हाउ डिड रूजवेल्ट एक्ट अगेंस्ट पोलियो स्वागतिका एम राम ओके माउथ एंड ट्रैवल्स टू द इंटेस्टाइन यस बेटा परवर्ती प्रश्न होची परवर्ती पेसेज रो प्रश्न गुडी को देखिबा हाउ डिड रूजवेल्ट एक्ट अगेंस्ट पोलियो एक नंबर दुई नंबर what was the highest position Roosevelt achieved in his political career option C why was polio frightening for people option D what strange fact about polio come to notice in the first half of the century and option C why did people fear to send their children to school these are the questions बुझला प्रथम प्रश्न हला हाउ डिड रूजवेल्ट एक्ट अगेंस्ट पोलियो पोलियो विरुद्ध रे रूजवेल्ट केमिति काम करथले act against polio kon habo pele Roosevelt went into spirit fight against polio, increasing public awareness. We have to write. Roosevelt went unto spearhead the fight against polio, increasing public awareness. ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ସଚେତନତା ସୃଷ୍ଟି କରି ପ୍ରଥମେ ରୋଜଭେଲ୍ଟ ପୋଲିଓର ଫାଇଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କଲେ. Okay, of the deadly disease and promoting research, and also he promoted research. ଆଉ କ'ଣ କଲେ ଗବେଷଣାକୁ ପ୍ରୋତ୍ସାହିତ କଲେ ଗବେଷଣା କରିବା ମାନେ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରୋତ୍ସାହିତ କଲେ ଗବେଷଣା କରିବା ପାଇଁ promoting research ସ୍ୱାଗତିକା. Yes ବେଟା. Next question ହଉଛି what are the highest position Roosevelt achieved in his political career? ତାଙ୍କ political career ରେ ସବୁଠାରୁ highest position କ'ଣ ଥିଲା ତାଙ୍କର? Highest position କ'ଣ ଥିଲା political career ର? What are the highest position Roosevelt achieved in his political career? So, after being infected with polio, paralytic form of polio, he, continued his illustrious political career, resulting in his well-documented and long-term presidency of the United States. He became twice the president of United States of America. America president heiଥିଲେ se. This is the highest state he has acquired being infected with polio. Next question hoji question number 3. Why was polio frightening for people? Why was polio frightening for people? Polio ta lokomananko bhitere mane dara srushti kortala kahinki? Why was polio frightening for people? Lokomananko bhitere polio dara srushti kortala kahinki? So polio was frightening for people because it was highly contagious. Kahinki yaha eko ମାନେ ମାରାତ୍ମକ ସଂକ୍ରାମକ ରୋଗ ଥିଲା. Polio was frightening for people because it was highly contagious and attacked both poor and rich. And no medicine could stop it. ଏବଂ ଏହା ପାଇଁ କୌଣସି ମେଡିସିନ ନଥିଲା. ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଦେଖିବା. ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ହେଉଛି what strange fact about polio come to notice in the first half of the century? First half of the century ରେ କ'ଣ ହେଇଥିଲା? କ'ଣ strange fact ଏ polio ବାବଦରେ କ'ଣ strange fact ସବୁ ଆସିଥିଲା? What are the strange fact that came? कौन सब स्ट्रेंज फैक्ट आइतला इन द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सेंचुरी यार उत्तर जदी हम लिखुचे इन द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सेंचुरी द बेसिक हाइजीन मेथड्स एंड नॉलेज एडवांस जदी भी बढ़ितला हाइजीन मेथड नॉलेज एडवांस आइतला स्टिल पोलियो अफेक्टेड पीपल इट एस्टोनिश्ड पीपल ते मेडिसिन बढ़िला बाहरला परे हाइजीन मेथड डेवलप होला परे स्टिल लोक मान को पोलियो अटैक करतला और लोक माने एथरा आश्चर्य होतले जे काहे की Next question कौन बोले people why did people fear to send their children to school? काहे कि लोक माने तांको छुआ पिलांको माने स्कूल पठेबा पे कोन करथले डरथले. What is the reason? People fear to send their children to school. People fear to कोन बोले send their children to school and public places because it was believed that polio was contagious. They were afraid of polio and polio was highly contagious. That's why they were afraid. ये थिला हमरो डेवलपमेंट माने तीनटा प्रोज रो छोटा फेस सरी जाई बोले वर्तमान में जीवा कोठी की पोएट्री सेक्शन को प्रथमे देखिबा डेफोडिल्स रो क्वेश्चन से देखिबा हाईली वल्नरेबल टू पोलियो. चिल्ड्रन आर द हाईली वल्नरेबल टू पोलियो. यस बेटा. परवर्ती प्रश्न है व्हाट डिड द पोएट सी व्हाइल वंडरिंग? Daffodils रो क्वेश्चन. What did the poet see while wandering? Where were the daffodils? Then why are the daffodils compared with the stars? Then what were the daffodils doing when the poet saw them? Then who is compared with the cloud and why? This is a question. बुझेला तो प्रथम प्रश्न थिला what did the poet see while wandering? While wandering the poet saw daffodils. While wandering the poet saw a host of golden daffodils. This is the answer. Question number 2. Where were the daffodils? The daffodils were beside the lake, beneath the trees. This is the answer. Both saw them. Next, question number 3. Why are the daffodils compared with the stars? Kahin ki stars with the daffodils ko compare कराया था? The daffodils are compared with the stars because they both were plenty, continuous, and shining. These are the 3 words: plenty, continuous, and shining. Remember, write down: plenty, continuous, and shining. These are the 3 words that we have to write. The daffodils are compared with the stars because they both were, means star and daffodil, they were, plenty, continuous, and shining. Never ending line is better prolipta. Mo sethi pai yaku tinta word कहली बेटा plenty, continuous, और shining. परवर्ती प्रश्न देखिबा. What were the daffodils doing when the poet saw them? What were the daffodils doing? Daffodils माने कौन को देखिछन्ते? What were the daffodils doing when the poet saw them? Huh? When the poet saw the daffodils, they were fluttering and dancing in the breeze. When the poet, dancing and singing, yes, no, not singing. They were not singing at all. How can you tell they were singing? They have no mouth that they can sing. So actually, when the poet saw the daffodils, they were fluttering and dancing in the breeze. They were fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Next question: who is compared with the cloud and why? Who is compared with the cloud? Both saw the question. The author is compared with the cloud. So who is compared with the cloud? Present tense present uttar. The poet is compared with the cloud because he wandered lonely like a cloud, wanders lonely in the sky above bells and hills. At the sky, wander above bells and hills like that. He was also wandering on that day. That's why he has been compared with the cloud. ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ମେଘ ସହିତ ତୁଳନା କରିଛନ୍ତି କାରଣ ମେଘ ଯେମିତି ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟହୀନ ଭାବରେ ବୁଲେ ସେଦିନ ସେ ବି ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟହୀନ ଭାବରେ ବୁଲୁଥିଲେ। ଇଏ ଥିଲା ପିଲେ ପେସେଜ ନମ୍ବର 1। ପେସେଜ ନମ୍ବର 1। ପେସେଜ ନମ୍ବର 2 ଦେଖିବା। Question number 2 कौन अछि? What were the dance of the daffodils like? What are the dance of the daffodils like? Question number B. How does the poet feel while looking at the daffodils? Question number C. What happens to the poet when he lies on his couch? Question number D. What are the two moods of the poet? Question number E. What does the poet feel when he remembers the sight of the daffodils? It was a question. तो प्रथम प्रश्न कौन थिला? What are the dance of the daffodils like? Daffodil मानकर डांस की भली थिला। What are the dance of the daffodils like? एमन को डांस केवल थिला रोज। तो कौन थिला पिले? What was the dance of the daffodils like? In sprightly dance लेखाई ची भई रे। So the daffodils were dancing near the waves, but the dances of the daffodils were sweeter, brighter than the dance of the waves. जदि निज भाषा रे लेखिबा। Or you can write they were dancing sprightly. आमे एतिकी मध्य लेखि पारिबा। Next question होची question how does the poet feel while looking at the daffodils? जतबेला daffodils मानकु देखु से कोन फील करथिले? How does the poet feel while looking at the daffodils? Daffodils मानकु देखिला बेला तांकु कोन बोलुथला? When the poet looks at the daffodils, he feels that the daffodils brought to him a lot of wealth. Daffodils brought to him a lot of wealth. He was feeling like that. जे सत्य कि तांको बहुत संपत्ति मिल जाइछि, बहुत धन मिल जाइछि। Okay, question number C. Question number C थिला what happens to the poet when he lies on his couch? What happens to the poet when he lies on his couch? जतबेला से ऊपर गडब बेड ऊपर पड़ब तम कोन हुए? When the poet lies on his couch, the daffodils flash upon his inward eye and fills his heart with pleasure. कोन हुए? तांकर inward eye रे माने देखा जानती एवं then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils पंक्ति भावर। Question number D. What are the two moods of the poet? कविंकर दुईटा मूड कोन कोन थिला? What are the two moods of the poet? What are the two moods of the poet? दुईटा मूड कोन कोन थिला? Vacant and pensive. God bless Kalyani. So vacant and pensive. So the poet had two moods: pensive mood and vacant mood. His mind is either empty or crowded. His mind. Am I correct now? Okay now? It's okay now? Am I audible? Am I audible now? Am I audible now, guys? Am I audible now? Okay, good. So, the question is, what are the two moods of the poet? Eta thila pensive au vacant. Pensive au vacant ame koi pari. And next କହିବା ଆମେ what does the poet feel when the remembers the sight of the daffodils? Next question होची what does the poet feel when he remembers the sight of the daffodils? This is the last question. स्वागत है हाँ बेटा हाँ तो last question होची when the poet remembers the sight of the daffodils, when the poet remembers the sight of the daffodils, his heart is filled with joy. His heart is filled with joy and dances with the daffodils. परवर्ती तमरो जो कविता मु नै छि सेटा होछि द बैलेड ऑफ फादर गिलिगन रो क्वेश्चन देखिबा क्वेश्चन गुडी अछि हम पाखरे क्वेश्चन गुडी कोन कोन अछि बिले व्हाई वाज पीटर गिलिगन वेरी 1 2, why did the poor man send for him? 2. 3, what did he complain? Se kon complain kale? 4, why did he beg forgiveness? 5, when did he fall asleep? Ketebale se soi padile? This is the question. बुझेला? तो प्रथम प्रश्न होची, why was Peter Gilligan worried? से काहेकि व्यस्त विव्रत थे? Peter Gilligan काहेकि व्यस्त विव्रत थे? Peter Gilligan was worried because people in his parish were in their beds. People in his parish were in their beds and he was to attend them all. कारण तांकु अटेंड करबा पड़थला, समस्त बेड रे थे, अंडर ट्रीटमेंट थे. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, why did the poor man send for him? काहेकि से गरीब लोकटी पटेर? Why did the poor man send for him? The poor man sent for him because he was sick. Because he was sick. The poor man sent for him because he was sick. Yes or no? Next question hochi, see, what did he complain? I have no rest, nor joy, nor peace. So he complained, I have no rest, nor joy, nor peace. For people die and die. Next question hochi, why did he beg forgiveness? काहे कि भगवान को क्षमा मांगिले? Why did he beg forgiveness? So काहे कि क्षमा मांगिले? Why did he beg forgiveness? The reason was he begged forgiveness because he refused to attend the sick man. It was negligence to duty. It was negligence to duty. That's why he forgive, seek forgiveness, beg forgiveness. Next, last question. When did he fall asleep? When did he fall asleep? Ketebale se soi padile? When did he fall asleep? He fell asleep on the chair at the mouth hour of eve. He fell asleep in the chair at the mouth hour of eve. Okay, next paragraph देखिबा. Next paragraph रो next question. कौन अछि question सब? Why did Peter Gilligan say Mavron? काहे कि से कहले Mavron? Question number B, how did he ride the horse? केमति घोड़ा चलाउथिले? Question number C, why did the poor man wife say what? Father, you come again. Question number D, what information did the lady give about her husband? कौन तांको स्वामी भितर से कौन information देला? Question number E, why did Peter Gilligan have to and fro? काहे कि to and fro गले? So question number A, प्रथम प्रश्न, why did Peter Gilligan say Mavron? काहे कि कहले Mavron बोली काहे कहले? Father Gilligan said Mavron because he thought that the poor man has died. ଆଉ Mavron टा होची इंटरजेक्शन पिले जोटा जणा लोक मला बेलगु व्यवहार करा जायते. Question number 2, how did he ride the horse? केमति तांगर घोड़ा केमति चलैते? How did he ride the horse? घोड़ा से केमति चलैते रे? He rode his horse as he had never ridden. He rode his horse as he had never ridden by rocky lane and fen with little care. He was repeating for his mistake of not attending the poor man before his death. Swagatika. Okay. Next question. Question number C. Why did the poor man's wife say, Father, you come again? Kahi ki ekata se koila? The poor man's wife said, Father, you come again, because she had seen father in her house last night. Nahi, father in her house last night. When she again saw him, she exclaimed and said. Question number D. What information did the lady give about her husband? What information did the lady give about her husband? So information the poor man's wife said that her husband had died an hour before. In a peaceful manner. Last question. Why did Peter Gilligan sweat to and fro? Why did Peter Gilligan sweat to and fro? To and fro kahi se support kahi kela se? Father Gilligan sweat to and fro, hearing that the poor man had died the previous night. गत दिन रात्रि से मरी जाइए एक शुणिला माने टेंशन रे एपट सेपट होतले. ये दिला तमरो डेथ कोन फादर गिलिगन. वर्तमान जीवा प्ले सैम अप लाइव ऊपर को. सैम अप लाइव लास्ट हमर सिलेक्शन जो दुईटा पेसेज अछि. प्रथम प्रश्न होला, व्हाट डू द पेसिमिस्टिक पीपल से अबाउट लाइफ? जीवन बाबद रे माने नेगेटिव लोक माने कोन कहंती. क्वेश्चन नंबर बी, व्हाट इज लाइफ अकॉर्डिंग टू द पोएट? जीवनटा कोन? क्वेश्चन नंबर सी, डट दो आर्ट टू डट तो रिटर्न एट एक्सप्लेन materials to materials यार अर्थ कोन? क्वेश्चन नंबर डी, हाउ कैन वी मेक लाइफ ब्यूटीफुल? जीवनटा को किबळी भलो करि परिबा? क्वेश्चन नंबर ई होला, व्हाट इज नॉट लाइफ वे? जीवन रो रास्ता कोन नय? जीवन रो कोड नाही. तो आंसर बुझिबा, व्हाट डू द पेसिमिस्टिक पीपल से अबाउट लाइफ? नेगेटिव नकारात्मक लोक माने जीवन विषय कोन कहंते पिले? द पेसिमिस्टिक पीपल से दैट लाइफ इज नथिंग but an empty dream. Life is nothing but an empty dream. Question number 2, what is life according to the poet? कवि के अनुसार जीवनटा कोन? According to the poet, life is earnest, life is real. पूरा कविता भितर उठाइबा बिले. So according to the poet, life is earnest, life is real. Question number 3 ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ଫାଷ୍ଟ କରୁଛି ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ୟାକୁ ସାରିବାର ଅଛି ମୋତେ, ତାପରେ ନେକ୍ସଟ ସାଇନ୍ସ ପିଲାଙ୍କର କ୍ଲାସ୍ କରିବାର ଅଛି ମୋତେ। Question number C होची डॉट दो आठ टू डॉट दो रिटर्न एट एक्सप्लेन डॉट दो आठ डॉट दो रिटर्न या को एक्सप्लेन करो। सो कौन पिले डॉट दो आठ टू डॉट दो रिटर्न एट इट सेज दैट लाइफ इज क्रिएटेड फ्रॉम डस्ट एंड आफ्टर डेथ इट विल रिटर्न टू द डस्ट। लाइफ इज क्रिएटेड फ्रॉम डस्ट एंड आफ्टर डेथ इट विल रिटर्न टू द डस्ट। क्वेश्चन नंबर डी हाउ कैन वी मेक आवर लाइफ सब्लाइम जीवन टाको केमती मीनिंगफुल करि परबा ब्यूटीफुल करि परबा। वी कैन मेक लाइफ ब्यूटीफुल बाय डूइंग नोबल वर्क सिंपल आंसर अछि। We can make life beautiful by doing noble work. Question number E what is not life's way जीवनर माने रास्ता रे केवल गोटे जिनस कोन होता the way of life is not enjoyment not sorrow the way of life is not enjoyment not sorrow the true way of life is to act honestly परवर्ती पैसेज को जीवा परवर्ती पैसेज होची What does the poet say about art and time? Art and time विषय कौन कही? Next question, what does he say about the hearts? हृदय विषय कौन कही? Question number C, why should not we trust future? भविष्य को कहीं विश्वास करिबा नहीं. D, how can we best utilize present? Present को केमती utilize करिबा? Then question number E होची what does the poet advise people in the second stanza? Second stanza रे कवि मान को कौन करचंती? ये होची पांचटा प्रश्न. First question कौन थिला? What does the poet say about art and time? Art and time विषय कौन कहा जाए art and time the poets say that art is long and time is fleeting. The poets say that art is long and time is fleeting. Question number B, what does he say about the hearts? What does he say about the hearts? हृदय विषय रे कौन कहा जाए? He says that hearts are like muffled drums beating funeral marches to the grave. बहिरे जहाँ अच्छी ताकू पिक करके मु कहूची his hearts he says that hearts are like muffled drums beating funeral marches to the grave. Question number C, why should not we trust future? Future को कहीं विश्वास करिबा नहीं we should not trust future because though it looks pleasant it is uncertain. Though it looks pleasant it is uncertain या अनिश्चितता. तापर अछि how can we best utilize present? How can we best utilize present? Present को केमती हमें utilize करि परिबा? We can best utilize present by doing good work for the people around us. By doing good work for the people around us. हम माने जो लोक माने हम पाके पाके अछन से माने कोइ भलो काम करिकि हम प्रेजेंट को यूटिलाइज करि परिबा. लास्ट क्वेश्चन होची आज रो क्लास रो what does the poet advise people in the second stanza? What does the people advise what does the poet advise people in the second stanza? Second stanza टा कोन थिला बरे? Second stanza कोन थिला? Art is long and time is fleeting and our hearts though stout and brave still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches of the grave in the world's broad field of battle in the bivocal by be not like dumb driven killer be a hero in the strife be a hero in the strife trust no future rather present let the dead past but instead act in the living present art within God is over it. stanza ताले मोटिके स्पीड रो पढि देली बेले कारण सारी बार अछि क्लास टेको. So what does the poet advise people in the second stanza? The poet advise people in the second stanza not to be like dumb driven cattle but to be a hero in the strife. So these 12टा passage 60टा question as per the commitment done it ए भितरु 20 मार्क 100% आसीबो and लिख के दूंगा. Okay, that's all. Thank you for joining. Stay from Master English. Jai Jagannath.